This is TWiT.
Speaking of terrible moments, Skype time. Skype for Business features migrate to Teams. Teams is this has been a week for Teams, hasn't it?
It has.
A lot of Teams news.
Yep.
I'm actually fascinated with Teams because it's a business product and I love that.
Yeah. Yeah.
But it's fascinating to me. Seriously, I think you'll appreciate that.
That was irony. In case you missed
share
the
usage, I can't really say. No, but Microsoft adds features to Office 365 all the time. They generate about 15 seconds of interest, and then we move on. And there are 117 features in Office 365. God knows what any of them are. This thing has stuck, right?
Yeah.
In ways that even I would say Skype for Business never did. I know there are more people actually using Skype for Business, but there's something about this. I see a level of interest in Teams that I have not seen in a new Microsoft Office product of any kind. And I really have to really think about this. I don't know how far back to go. Bigger than like Sway, obviously. I know it's a consumer product, but I don't know what to compare it to. It seems like it genuinely is popular.
Well, I think it feels that way because Slack is popular, right? And this is a head-to-head competitor with Slack. So people who are younger, this is a preferred way to communicate. So I think it's definitely got legs.
Yeah,
but
I think so too.
It wasn't a good week for Teams because Microsoft accidentally showed their hand before Ignite about what they're going to do with Skype for Business and Teams. So one morning early this week, a bunch of people log into their Office 365 accounts and they suddenly see this message that says, Skype for Business is now Microsoft Teams! ! And that wasn't announced. It just was an ad that was showing up in their client. Then Microsoft actually went so far as to post to the Office 365 admin portal a whole thing saying, get ready for your upgrade to Microsoft Teams. Here's how this is going to work. That wasn't supposed to happen this week. None of that was supposed to happen. And Microsoft won't talk anymore about what exactly this means. And is it all of Skype for Business that's being migrated to Teams? Is it some? Is it only the instant messaging and presence parts? What about the telephony stuff, that now you can do with like Cloud PBX in Skype for Business? How's that going to be added to Teams if it is? So there are a ton of unanswered questions that we will probably not hear about until Ignite at this point. But now we kind of know where they're going with this.
Do we? Well, okay. I feel like Skype as a brand has never taken off in business.
In business. Well, because it was Link. Right.
And then it was Communicator before that. And, sure. Yeah. But that's okay. Yeah. Whatever. I think people just have a bad, connection with Skype. There's something about it. Something terrible. Like the Damien the Omen or, Chucky the Killer Doll. Whatever. Yeah, this is a bad connotation there, but I could almost wrap my head around this notion that they're going to get rid of the Skype brand. I mean, obviously it's going to be the same technology. They've integrated Skype all over Office, all over Office 365. It's everywhere. You can jumpstart Skype calls from, you can do it from the calendar app in Windows 10 for crying out loud. Like it's everywhere. It's like a tick. But the technology has to survive. But it kind of makes me think that, like Teams, again, like I said, like for whatever reason, seems to have really taken off. You could kind of see the Teams brand subsume Skype on the business side. Yeah. And that would be...
This is more than just the brand.
Yeah.
It seemed like it was just the branding, but then when you see the message in the admin portal, it's actually migrating people off of Skype for Business to Teams. Like it's an actual, like it's not just we're changing the name. It's also we're going to get you off of Skype for Business. So
I don't think
the
many
question
people
is,
would complain about that.
I know. And, Skype for Business, I hear tons and tons of complaints, including at my own company, about how terrible Skype for Business is. And I think some people are like, yeah, okay, it's going to be disruptive, but it doesn't really work very well. So let's try Teams. The question again, yes?
Well, you brought this up. I mean, when the new Skype client launched on mobile, and yes, we're going to bring it to Windows. You were the one who said, well, okay, but what about Skype for Windows? And I believe you heard the sound of a dial tone, or a cricket or something. It was just like, we don't know what we're doing there yet.
In fact, I even asked Microsoft.
I think this was why. Right?
Yeah, I asked them. I said, are you going to just make Skype for Business Teams? And they're like, we're not talking about this. I'm like, okay, Great. That was like months
I'll
ago
take that as
that
a
I
yes.
asked.
That kind of sounds like a yes, doesn't it?
Yep.
Yeah. But what about all the parts of Skype for Business that aren't really in Teams right now, like PSTN conferencing and broadcast meetings, like really big broadcast meetings, cloud PBX? There's a lot of pretty advanced telephony functionality that's also in Skype for Business. Can that move to Teams? Like,
Yeah,
what would that look like?
Well,
right?
because we did this transition before. Remember when Microsoft was moving everything to Office 365, the very features you just mentioned were only available in the on-prem version of what used to be Office Communication Server or Link Server, whatever it was called. I don't know if they ever had a Skype for Business server. I guess maybe they probably did. I don't remember. But those capabilities required on-prem hardware. Eventually, it became cloud-based. And so, honestly, once you're in the cloud like this, I think this transition becomes a little bit easier. And in that case, what you might see is literally a rebranding. I mean, you just take the Skype infrastructure you're using and you keep using it. You just don't call it that anymore.
I don't know if Slack has that, but I know that HipChat's replacing their chat kind of Slack competitor with something that has telephony and video, and because apparently that's what you want. You want to be able to have all your team communications inside this blob.
Slack is like the Google model. It's like you're a young startup and you want to have whatever it is you want to have, and you don't have to integrate with Office phone systems. You guys are all working remotely anyway, and so your communications methods are going to be smartphone based and whatever. It's fine. I mean, Microsoft serves a much more diverse user base, but they're also more traditional, and they do have these traditional phone systems, and this kind of integration is really important for that customer base. And so Microsoft is kind of the king of the hybrid solution, and this is just a product of their history. So it makes sense that they would have to have these capabilities, and that's an advantage for them, for established companies.